carolmarak.com. Welcome to Solo and Smart, my YouTube channel. And today's video is about the considerations that we must think about if we're planning to age in place. Because as we grow older, we certainly have more options than ever when it comes to staying mentally and physically active while we age, and doing so really on our own terms and in our own homes and in the larger community that our home exists in. But there are some tough considerations to make if we plan to stay at home. The first one is long-term care. So you need to start thinking about how will you receive, personal care in your home. There are nonprofits, government agencies, as well as even Medicaid insurance has developed more community-based services for older adults who are, aging in the larger community in our home. But as we grow older, make sure that you know about some of these services and arrangements for long-term care. Because it's really prudent on your part and becoming a very responsible older person. The next one is to make sure that your home is hazard proofed, and that could be just start thinking about really kind of foreseeing into the future some of the potential hazards of living alone while growing older, which are like falling hazards, which around the house that can cause serious injury. So make sure you have right lighting, that you have good balance and support systems around your stairs, doorways, bathrooms, and that the floor is always free of injury hazards. Because we need to make sure that we stay safe at home. And part of growing older means accepting that our senses aren't quite as sharp as they used to be. Our sight, hearing, touch, and reaction speeds all decrease with age. So we need to learn strategies to account and compensate for these losing of our senses or declining senses. Another thing is mobility, which addresses your ambulatory as well as your driving concerns, because limitations to movement and physicality are part of growing older. But older adults must also face the reality of losing the ability to drive. I know my mom did at age 83, which I think was still too young that she was in that point, but that's what happened. So aging in place, the best practices, often dictate that homes should be made accessible and senior friendly well before the point that you actually require these types of adjustments like handrails, ramps, and other mobility devices. So with respect to driving your car safely, even well into your 80s, just some of the things to consider while navigating the ups and downs of aging and driving is to start thinking about how do you plan to get to your appointments, go grocery shopping, and to even visit friends and family. And another thing in terms of mobility, and this really isn't mobility, however, another consideration is how well connected are you with friends and even your neighbors within just outside of your home, for example. Because if you're growing older and you lose the ability to drive, or you lose you start to really lose some of your mobility, then you really need to have a strong support system around you, like neighbors who can watch out for you. And we need a strong social network as well, because isolation and loneliness can be devastating for people. And then one last thing is the safety, because aging in place also means recognizing the heightened safety concerns and vulnerability that come with being on one's own. And some of those personal safety issues is to make sure that you have home security best practices, because there are so many scammers and criminals who really target older adults. So these are some of the considerations that you can start thinking about now while you're still strong, while you're still aging in place and you're a very strong physically as well as mentally capable person. Because you don't want to wait until you have an emergency to start thinking about the considerations or the downfalls or pitfalls of aging in place. Well, thank you for visiting today, and also would like for you to, if I can find it, I wanted to share one other thing with you, and that is if you want to learn how to better prepare for aging alone, consider joining my Master Group Coaching Series or get private coaching. I also have classes as well as group coaching and private coaching on the Amava platform, which I will put a link in the description of this video below. And be sure you subscribe to my Solo and Smart YouTube channel, share it with a friend, and give it a like if you learned a thing or two. And again, thank you for joining me today.